welcome to our Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. This is a support designed especially for solopreneurs. And this morning we're going to talk about making peace. So, since there are so few of us this morning, maybe we will introduce ourselves. I think that would be fair enough. So, Fred, you were the last one here, so you get to go first.
All right. Thanks, Lolan. I'm Fred Johns, creator of Our Future Leaders, where I assist young people to improve their communication and leadership skills so they can become the leaders that our world needs. I'm located currently off Vancouver Island. I'm in New Westminster, just outside Vancouver on the
Hmm,
west coast of Canada.
right on. We missed the boat background that you had last time. Yeah. Thank you, Fred. Vivek, um, you want to introduce yourself? Yeah.
Namaste. My name is Vivekanand. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication.
Hmm.
So, I aim to bring time tested wisdom and happiness together into your business and life by unifying, simplifying, and amplifying simple technology and tools. Wake Technology is my company. Together, let us wake up our potential.
Right on. Thank you, Vivek. And David.
Hello, I'm Dave Flannery with Affordable Websites for Small Business, where I believe in making as complicated as possible. Well, no, not really. I do make it as complicated, but that's not on purpose. So, anyway, I'm with Affordable Websites for Small Business in Rock Falls, Illinois.
Well, and I just might say, you may make things complicated by using a variety of tools to do various things, but that has been at my advantage because numerous times you've shown me how to do something, and you've been a very patient teacher. So we were
Thank you.
just discussing what it's like to try to teach a spouse how to do something. It's not quite the same as teaching somebody else how to do something, is it?
You are correct. For some reason, the patience that I have with other people is not extended to my wife, and I'm working on that as
Yeah.
best I can.
Okay, it's good that you're here. And I just might say that I'm just recently I have completed and have begun to market my 3 courses, business courses, online at beingyourownCEO.com. So now this morning, by way of context, over the past numerous success circle meetings, we've kind of touched on a number of things that seem to have bubbled up because of the COVID isolation. And I think that this morning's topic is part of that, because this isolation seems to have brought up a number of things for people. Um, I guess now that they have time to reflect on things, when everything else kind of stops, all the businesses stopped and everything, we've had time to reflect on things. And I think that's what sort of brought up this making peace topic. So the subtitle I put was Making Peace with Yourself, with People, with Community, and with the Planet. And I was going to throw the question out to our participants, of all of those, yourself, people, community, and planet, which one do you resonate with the most strongly right now? Anybody? Yeah, Fred.
Well, I'm just looking at what as you know, I'm nomadic. I move around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I miss is the connection with the local community in the couple small towns outside Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
And I help with emergency support services.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly at this time, there's a lot of challenges on how to handle that. So I miss being able to be involved with the community
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not there at the moment. So it's the community to a large extent that I think is key for me anyway. That
It
because I
is
notice
a.
how I miss it. I
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, I feel bad that I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be involved. Well, fortunately, they involve me with Zoom meetings.
Mm-hmm.
They're having a meeting on Wednesday, and it's the first face-to-face meeting, but they've said, hey, you can join by Zoom. So at least but I can't participate. In other words, if there is an emergency, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
there,
So
and that is very satisfying to be able to
yeah.
assist other.
So do you find that Zoom meetings does it for you?
Well, it depends on the situation. In this
Mm.
case, it doesn't because I can't be there to
Mm-hmm.
help out when there's an
Oh
emergency.
yes, for that, yeah.
But at least they still allow me to participate and discuss and hear in the
Mm-hmm.
plans. But I feel I'm not able to
Mm-hmm.
contribute as much as
Mm-hmm.
can't contribute at all. Although they still involve me. I think the fact that they still involve me and want me to be there and is lovely, but that's not. I feel not satisfied that I'm not able
Mm-hmm.
to. Like I normally carry an emergency phone in case they
Mm-hmm.
need someone, and I'm not able to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
that does worry me. Well, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't worry me, but I want to get back there to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to do it at the moment. COVID-19 caused a lot of those issues.
Yes. Well, and I might share something from my own experience that relates to community, and perhaps you folks know that I belong to a community choir here, and where there are normally 150 members. And so we were all signed up for the season, and then this COVID thing happened. And what has been quite amazing is that the two directors have figured out a way to bring as many people as are comfortable doing it into a Zoom meeting and directing from their home. They're husband and wife, so they're in their own home directing. And they have been able to hold the community together because, I mean, singing in a choir is about singing in harmony and all of that, but probably the most important thing is the community aspect. And they've been able to do that, and 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 I mean they've been extremely creative in pulling all of this together, so much so that we are going to be doing an online concert next weekend. And there are guests coming in and so forth, and they're going to be live streaming it out to YouTube and Facebook. But what I decided to do was to host an after party, because we always did have an after party in a restaurant. And I've invited people to submit comments and any artistic things that they do, and I'm currently putting together a whole presentation of all of their submissions, and we're going to do an online after party. So and the comments that came in from the members indicated that yes, the singing aspect hasn't been very satisfying, because we all have to be home in our own home and behind silence, but the important thing was the way that they've been able to hold the community together. So, yeah. So so community is really important. So Dave, what resonates for you?
Well, I put it in this order. Myself, I'm at peace with myself. I'm at peace with people because I am in a people business. As other people know, I'm also a real estate agent, so I deal with a lot of people. Um, then the planet, which I'm getting ready to start a new project on
Mm.
solar equipment, um, and I've always been interested in solar. Had solar on one of my houses and wanted to expand that. And I used to, when I burned wood, I would use a solar dryer to dry my firewood so that it was dry. It would
Mm.
burn better. Um, and then the last one is community. Um, for some reason, community has not clicked with me as well as it should. Even with my real estate business, we support the community, but we just don't get that much involved, and
Mm.
it's something that goes back for a long time.
Mm.
So something that needs to be worked on.
Mm. Okay. So, but I love the fact that you're going to be focusing on the planet, and certainly there are some people in this community that are really doing lots of Zoom things about environmental issues, water health, water safety, the forestry. There's a whole lot of things, and this local woman, what she has done is combined the artistic community along with that planetary health community, and it's really quite creative. Fred, you may know her, Frances Littman. Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, it sounds from what I gather, this website that she's doing, and weekly Zoom meetings with all these environmental experts. Like she has over 250 people join every Wednesday. So it appears that the whole planetary thing seems to be an issue for some people, and how they, when you sit back and start looking at things around you, you start noticing a lot of things that need to be corrected. Yeah. So so Vivek, what about you? What out of that list, what resonated for you?
Um, I continue to be busy with my job at the supermarket. The hours have varied, but I continue to be doing that. That does put me in contact with a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
the customers
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in terms of planet Earth, I would say planet Earth has been part of my life right from the beginning. Um, I mean, one of the things I have been doing without really, Sadhguru has an initiative. It's called as Kaveri Calling, where he invites people to donate money so that trees can be planted in the river basin along the Kaveri River in India.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I could go there and plant trees myself, but no, it's not possible. But I have been donating
Mm-hmm.
regularly every month.
Mm.
So
So it's of concern to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a continuous concern, and yeah.
Interesting. So, um, I, and this whole list, um, as I was trying to decide what my answer is to all of that. Oh, go ahead, David.
What was the lady's name in the website again? Or the
Um, Francis Littman. It's to no, just a minute now. uh, it'll come to me. The name.
Isn't Creatively United or something
Yes,
like that?
that's. Thank you very much. It just wasn't coming out. Creatively United for the Planet is the name of the website. Yeah, it's really. I've listened in to most. I've missed maybe one or two, but I have to say, uh, listening in and just being conscious. I mean, it's about consciousness raising, for sure. Yeah. So, for myself, as I looked at this list, I mean, the planet was one, but I'm going to talk about making peace with myself, because I noticed that living alone and working from home alone, that whole experience of not being out and about and in choir and all the things that myself and my friends do, I I found myself being sliding into depression and being filled with dread, etc. And as I have, discussed this with some of my girlfriends, we noticed that there was a difference. Those of us that live alone were finding that. Those of us that don't live alone were not finding that quite the same way. And those of us that were living alone we were noticing in ourselves we were on the verge of tears. And a lot of things that you would watch and listen to, even a piece of music, you would find yourself just on the verge of tears. And so as I recognized that, and I have to credit my walking fitness partner Robin, because we had conversations about this. She lives with a husband, and I live alone, and so we, in our walking, we kind of compared our reactions to things and how we all did that. And so I began realizing that I needed to do something about it. So what I did was I listened in, and I've gone back to one spiritual community, an ashram in the Kootenays, and I go to they're now doing online satsangs. And I also decided that I would participate in Sadhguru's inner engineering. So I did his program, and basically his explanations and his techniques and all of that I found extremely helpful. So I realized, with all this isolation, that I was neglecting this kind of spiritual health of myself. And so I mean, and I think I know I'm not alone, that there are a lot of people, and I mean, when we look at what's going on in our communities, you can tell that people are doing really extreme things. What's going on in the cities in America? I mean, people. This whole fear thing catches people, and then it pulls them into unexpected places. So I think we all need to pay attention to our mental health during this time. So and I can't honestly say that I feel as though I need to um, make peace with other people. I think and being a people person, I'm pretty well didn't have any problem for that. But I also have to say to you folks here how important this success circle has been for me. It has been a lifesaver for me, and my friendships with you folks, and the way we've worked together, and when we've gotten together doing things together. I mean, that's been just a godsend, and not only from a learning perspective, but just from that whole connection perspective. So it's been very interesting to me to observe, um, as I say, among my friends, the way they are reacting to all of this, and so forth. So yeah, I don't know whether any of the do any of you have any of you experienced any of that sort of that depression that rolls around, Fred?
No, I don't experience that side, but what I do find the success circles have taught me a lot by being in your success circle, and that is that you can build community, and we're always
Mm-hmm.
coming back to community,
Yeah.
and you can build that online, and that's what I've learned
Mm-hmm.
from being in your success circle, and that's one of the things or aspects of
Mm-hmm.
being online that I want to promote with young people,
Yeah.
because a lot of them sometimes are isolated. The homeschool environment is one
Mm-hmm.
where they often are at home and they don't have that interaction. Whereas online, as you're doing with the Success Circle,
Mm-hmm.
you can build friendships, and it
Mm-hmm.
is a community.
Yeah.
And that, when we talk about why are we always talking about community? Well, it brings back the time a few years ago that in the UK they found that people were lonely, and the loneliness of particularly the elderly people
Mm-hmm.
was causing enormous challenges in the healthcare
Mm-hmm.
and costing enormous amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they put in a minister of loneliness or something like that. I don't remember the
Mm-hmm.
title,
Mm-hmm.
but that was why. And so that's something that I learned, that
Mm-hmm.
community is important. We need other people in our lives, and this is one way. This isn't the only way, but it's amazing
Mm-hmm.
how powerful
Mm-hmm.
it can be. Because I've never met Vivek or David face to face, um, but I
We
still
all feel
feel
as though we know each other,
yes,
don't we?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and we'll help each other if we
Mm-hmm.
can. It
Yeah.
was the same with Roland. I mean, the fact that I went to visit Roland in
Mm-hmm.
California because of that, he was just such an amazing help to me in many
Mm-hmm.
ways with my website and things like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So, and you feel that you can build. You need other people in your lives, is what you're saying, and what I feel
Mm-hmm.
you learn.
Mm-hmm.
And the one other thing that comes to mind is forgiveness is something that a friend of mine spoke about, and how powerful it was. That sometimes you're holding a grudge or the negative impact of what somebody's wronged you,
Mm-hmm.
and you find that in amazing situations where people have really had to forgive somebody who did horrendous things to them, and it releases them,
Mm-hmm.
not so much from holding that grudge, because that sort of dominates their mind, and
Mm-hmm.
you end up having depression and anxiety, and like you're saying about that. So forgiveness can be a powerful tool, from what
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an expert on it, but it does make a big
Mm-hmm.
difference apparently, and I've seen that. So it's not so much that you're helping the other person, you're helping yourself,
Exactly. Yeah.
and that's where you
Yeah.
really want to go, is help yourself so
Mm-hmm.
much. So those are the thoughts that come to mind
Mm.
from what you were saying.
I've noticed that a number of friends that I I'm not in touch with often. Um, in the last month or so, everybody has reached out. And so there seems to be, I got this very long email from a former client. She and I worked together for years, and she's retired now, and she just felt like she needed to connect. And I'm noticing that a little bit. I wish Facebook worked better, because a lot of the people that I knew when I lived in the north, etc., I'm connected to on Facebook, but their stuff never comes up in my feed. I've yet to figure out how to make Facebook show me what I want to see. So, yeah, it is interesting. Um,
They
so
like to make it so that they show you what they want you to see.
yes, yeah, Vivek.
Loveland, you were mentioning depression. That reminded me of a talk which Sadhguru gave. I think it was on Sunday. He was specifically talking about a study that was done by the Harvard University
Hmm.
and another university, both in the United States. They did a study, and they found that people who do the practices that are taught to you in the inner engineering
Hmm.
process,
Hmm.
people who do them, they have they found some chemical changes happening in them. They found that even their DNA
Really?
changes slightly, and because of that, they become kind of immune to depression, and
Hmm.
they no longer have the effects of depression because they do these practices regularly.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'll send you the link to you. Yeah.
Right. Well, and something else that came up, I may have heard this on the radio. Um,
And this was a study done in these are the medical studies, not
mhm,
just, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
not social studies. These were
yeah.
studies done by medical
Hmm.
professionals, so they are, yeah.
Well, and the other thing is that it's, I think it was a radio program or something on the radio that indicated that somebody did some statistical watching of the preponderance of online yoga programs
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
people are they are going back. I mean, yoga for some people is just exercise, but
Mm.
for other people, much more holistic than that. It's mental, physical, and emotional, and psychological. It's all of that, and
Mainly, I mean, the major fault of some of these yoga teachers, the so-called yoga teachers, I would like to call them the so-called, because they
right.
they didn't give you the entire thing. Um, they removed the spiritual part of the whole thing, which is like it's like, in fact, Sadhguru gives an example of a you have an aeroplane, and you cut off both the wings, and you drive around in this aeroplane all over the town. People who see I mean, this thing will say, "Oh God, what have you done with the plane? You cut off the wings," and
Hmm.
that's what this is.
Yeah.
You remove the whole reason, spirituality out of it, and
Hmm.
say, "No, we don't want anything that." They labeled all these spiritual things as religious,
Yes.
and so they removed them and said, we'll do the only the physical things. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very. It's certainly not balanced, and that is unfortunate. Is that some people regarded yoga as a religion or religious thing, which was really smart of Sadhguru to say, I'm not teaching spirituality, I'm not teaching morality, I'm not teaching religion, I'm teaching a technique, a
Yeah.
technology. So, I thought that was really, really, really smart. Yeah. So, unless anybody has other things to add to making peace, um, I think maybe we're at the bottom of the hour, and perhaps I will pull us to close. Anybody have any parting comments?
Yeah, let me bring up a quote by Sadhguru. You
Yeah.
mentioned technology. I'll just share my blank screen. You look at my wallpaper. You will see what I mean. Yoga is a technology. If you learn to use it, it works. No matter where you come from or what you believe in or do not believe in. As simple as that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Um, but wow, it's I in my early yoga years, when I was learning yoga, it was still integrated, and I gave up doing yoga here in town for that very reason, because they just turned it into fitness. That's what they did, and it's so much more than that. Anyway, I think it's time for us to draw to a close, and I shall remind everyone it's important to do what you love with passion, and to let you know that next week's topic is about what what's on your reading list. Oh, David just came in or left or something. He must have had a crash of some sort. So with that, we shall see you all next week. So I will, and thank you for being here. Let me see. Oh yes, I should do my outro, shouldn't I?